Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? It's your boy, GD, the sports actor, where we talk a little bit about acting and we talk a little bit about sports. And today, we're going to recap that amazing comeback win from the New York Giants to come back and win the game 31-28 against the Arizona Cardinals. And then we're also going to look forward as our big matchup this Thursday night against the San Francisco 49ers and what we're going to have to do exactly to have a chance to win that game. And I truly believe that we have a chance. So let's recap. Let's get right into it. First half, we didn't do well at all. First half, we were non-existent, and I really felt pretty sick to my stomach. You know, I really thought that it was going to turn out to be the same thing that happened with the Cowboys, especially that catch that Saquon makes, tackle, a hit comes, and it pops out for an interception. I mean, that was deja vu all over again. And so we're sitting there 20-0, and the Giants go to the locker room. And I don't know if the military, I don't know who needs to hear this, but whatever was said and whoever said it in that locker room at half, whatever was said to galvanize those men and get them going and get those engines rolling and roaring into that second half, that needs to be recorded and probably printed out for every guy out there. Because that team looked like night and day. It looked like two different teams. And so let's dive into it a little bit. If we're looking at the game, as you can see, Daniel Jones ended 26 for 37, 321 yards. I believe 250 of those yards came in the second half. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he rushed for a little more than 50 plus yards. Saquon, 17 carries, 63 yards, 1 touchdown. Daniel Jones, a rushing touchdown. We really were just fluid on all cylinders. And that's just between our quarterback and our running back. Now let's include some of the receivers that really got into this mix. Jalen Hyatt, 2 receptions for 89 yards. No touchdown yet. Mark my words, it's coming. Targeted about 2 times. Those 2 times, I mean, even after the reports out there that after the half, coming into the third quarter, Jalen Hyatt goes over to Daniel Jones and says, "Throw me the ball. I'm going to be open." And what happens? What happens there is Jalen Hyatt or Daniel Jones proceeds to throw the ball. We march our way down. Daniel Jones, first play of the game, actually. We don't even march. We take the kickoff return. First play of the game. Daniel Jones, shotgun, steps back, boom. Perfect 58-yard pass to Jalen Hyatt for a few more yards after that and then a tackle. I mean, that right there out of the gate. Out of a half where you were losing 20-0, and for that to be the first play off jump, I mean, that's just an incredible momentum builder. And from there, you get Darren Waller mixed into the mix for a few yards there, gets a little 3-yarder. Darren Waller played a big part of the success for this game, especially in that second half. I mean, in the first half, he was, there and definitely incorporated himself, eating up chunks of yard. I mean, he's just great at moving the chains. I mean, hasn't had the touchdown that we're looking for yet, but Darren Waller is just exactly what we signed up for. This is exactly who we needed to come in, be a security when we need someone on third downs, when we need that extra look from the safety moving up so someone like Jalen Hyatt can just use that speed and catch something over top. I mean, Darren Waller was just incredible and so happy to have him as a part of the team. I mean, for him on the day, Darren Waller went, let's see here, let's pull him up. Where are you, Darren? I'll pull it up in a second here. But, basically, here we are. 6 receptions for 76 yards. 8 targets his way. So he's a big part of the offense, a big part of the passing game. And like I said, I can't be more than happy to have him as a part of the team. You had Paris Campbell, who was a bit quiet, not going to lie. I mean, as far as the receiving core right now, the guys that I truly, truly believe in are guys like Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton, who went 62 yards, 3 receptions, 6 targets his way, had an amazing catch for a bomb that was thrown just a bit outside of the bounds, just a bit outside of that pylon. Just it looked like a beautiful catch, almost like that Odell 3-handed catch monster catch that he's well renowned for with the Giants. But Darius Slayton, it seems to be improving well. His hands are looking really, really good, and his speed, of course, we all know that it's there already. So our team is looking really, really good at that wide receiver position, and we're going to need these guys to really step up, especially as we face the 49ers. We're going to have to spread the field a lot, and so between Jalen Hyatt, Darren Waller, Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, I really feel like these are the guys that we're going to need to see step up, as Saquon Barkley has been ruled out for Thursday night's game. And Saquon did a marvelous job against the Arizona Cardinals. I did feel like that injury was a little bit unnecessary, because if you really look at it, if Evan Neal doesn't get called for that holding play, Danny Dimes rushes that touchdown in, there's really no need to have Saquon back there. But also, Danny Dimes probably wouldn't have scored that touchdown without Evan Neal holding right there also. So, it is what it is. But Saquon, just being the monster that he is, being the cyborg that he is, he's not someone, he doesn't heal like me or you, he heals a little bit differently. And so after the game, it was very positive. Even though they did help him off the field, it was very positive to see that after the game, he was standing on his two legs, limping a little bit, but to stand on his own accord is just really, really a big relief for, me to see, and I bet a lot of other Giants fans. So we heard the injury isn't as bad as you would expect. I believe it's just an ankle sprain, which is, the best of the injuries that we could ask for, especially when it comes to his legs and what he uses to accomplish, his job. So very, very happy with that, and hoping for a speedy recovery with our boy Saquon, because, we love to have him on the field. Definitely a threat. It would have been nice to see Christian McCaffrey versus Saquon type of experience, but it's best for him to rest so he can get nice and healthy. And so our offense definitely, like I said, improved. And there's everyone's trying to find out, big conspiracy theory, did we improve because Brian Daboll began doing the play calling? Did Mike Kafka, I'm not going to say it was over Mike Kafka's head, but the way that we were playing the first half was the same way that we played against the Cowboys. A bit slow, no explosive plays, getting away from the run game and trying to make it more about the passing game. And I get it. We want to show why we paid Daniel Jones what we paid him. But guys, Saquon is still the run game is still a huge part of not only the New York Giants, but it's a huge part of football. So, I'm glad that whoever took over the play calling or whatever suggestions were made, I'm glad it was taken into account. And, like I said, I'm pretty convinced that it was our guy Brian Daboll out there making the calls, because the first game, I didn't see a play calling sheet in his hand. I didn't see one play calling sheet the whole time in his hand. I didn't see him talking, hiding behind the piece of paper. I didn't see any of that. But this next round, he had it in his hand the whole first half. In his hand. But second half, paper came up. Looked like he was doing a lot more communicating, a lot more talking. And guess what? The ball was moving a lot more. Players were able to sit in positions where they were open and they could go ahead, turn around, and make yards after the catch. Darius Slayton had a beautiful one where he was on the left side, goes, cuts back in, catches it, a nice, low pass from Daniel Jones, and is able to cut across the middle of the field for a few extra yards. These are the beautiful plays that we love to see. Darren Waller just eating up on the third downs, eating up on the second downs, eating up on the first downs. Saquon off in the flat, just dump off. And so it's just a lot that came out of that second half that really shows what we're capable of. And we saw a glimpse of this as well, when we played the Lions. Not the Lions, the North Carolina Panthers. When we had our first team in there, the ball moved so quickly. We were literally just moving the ball down, just fluid like butter. So very, very excited with, the corrections that can be made, and also excited that And also excited to mention that the offensive line really did not look bad. The offensive line for the New York Giants looks like they're putting something together and that they're improving a little bit. It was nice to see McKeithen. It's my first time seeing him out there, and I thought that he did a great job. You know, Ben Bredesen unfortunately got that hit. If you look at the video, you saw that his eyes closed when he took that shot. So definitely, I knew immediately it was a concussion. That was pretty apparent. And then Gronkowski comes back in the game, and of course, he comes in and things start to blow up. But, I'd like to think that we are figuring it out. Whether Ezeudu is playing very well, and with Andrew Thomas coming back, who's to say that we might not move Joshua Ezeudu over to the right side and maybe have him play right guard, maybe move Evan Neal inside. Maybe move Evan Neal inside at that guard position, and put Joshua Ezeudu over at that right tackle position across from Andrew Thomas. But there's a lot of different things that I feel like we're trying to find that right combination, and I'm confident that we will. Second half, Danny Dimes had a lot more time to be able to pass and see the field, and I'm very encouraged by that. I'm not going to let that go. Okay, so as we move on, we talked about the offense and the great things that we saw in the second half. Only thing that I would suggest is that the offense has to start sooner. The offense has to get going quicker. We can't afford to continue to play these games and be playing from behind, trying to play catch up quick, because it doesn't work well for our defense. If you noticed, when we were down so much 20-0, there were a lot of mistakes that were being made, especially in that 14-0. A lot of positions where we could have scored, came back, or made a third down stop, but we didn't. One in particular was where Dobbs is running the ball in. Xavier McKinney squares up, and instead of, trying to tackle, he tries to strip the ball. And I understand that completely. You're trying to make a big play, trying to get momentum to turn around. And in that, he tries to strip him, and he grabs the towel and slips back, and Josh Dobbs scores. And that is just deflating for the defense. So, that you can't really, blame too much, but we need to have clean tackling because, like I said, if you're behind, you're just going to do things to try to get ahead and try to cut corners. Another example would be when James Conner, I believe, was in the red zone and he's running the ball down. This was right before he slams grass and does those long strides and just very cocky with it. That whole time he broke at least 5 to 6 tackles. Why? Because if you watch, everybody was trying to strip the ball. Everyone was trying to punch it out. No one was really trying to make a tackle. And so when you're behind, you start to get sloppy and you can't do things that you want to do. You're sitting back in coverage. You can't put pressure because you're afraid that, if we blitz, if we do something that exposes us, someone's going to catch the ball and possibly score, and we're further behind. So we need to start off strong. And if the defense can't stop people from scoring, then also it's up to the offense to score. We went 60-7 this season. 60 points were scored on us before we scored one touchdown. 60 points to our 7. So the offense is also to blame, and we need to improve on that. So the defense does not feel as much pressure because, let's be honest, we have a lot of rookies on the defense. A lot of, people trying to figure out their positions, work in that new scheme, and trying to really do something over there. And so I'm not, saying that the defense I'm not giving them a pass. I'm not giving them a break at all. I'm just saying that the offense, we also need to put points on the board because I know that we can. And so as we move over towards the defense, with the defense, it's about stops. The defense, it's about not only stops, but it's about shutting it down on third downs. I don't understand how people continue to convert on not only third and shorts, but third and longs, third and mids. It doesn't matter. The Giants are not stopping anyone on third downs, and that is a problem because we need to get these takeaways. We need turnovers. It helps get the defense off the field. It helps generate more time for the offense so they can have more time of possession, and it helps the team all around. So the defense really has to step up. And I'm not talking about certain guys like Pinnock, who, although I felt like he got beat at times, I'm talking about I'm not talking about guys like Deontay Banks. I'm not talking about Dexter Lawrence. You know, these guys are doing well. I'm talking about guys like Leonard Williams. Where you at, bro? I know you want a Head and Shoulders commercial again, so let's get out there. Let's see some of that star ability. I mean, I didn't really see you out there at all. Let's see, Leonard Williams, if we're looking for how you did. I'm not sure why you're not on the chart here, on the defensive chart. Maybe you didn't have any tackles at all. Maybe that's not what's recorded, but that can't be the case because Kayvon Thibodeau's on here and he didn't have anything recorded, which is also a problem. Another person who I'm not sure what's going on. But can we please stop having Kayvon Thibodeau sit in coverage and act like he's... I mean, if you're going to do that, just have him play Adoree Jackson's position. Have him play the slot. Because that seems to be where the Giants want this guy to play. I mean, this guy, we drafted him as a pass rusher. We drafted him so he can rush. We skipped over guys like Chase Young. We skipped over guys like Micah Parsons because KT is our guy. But I haven't seen him being used to pass rush. And yes, with the Cardinals, the ball didn't come his way much, and that was probably purposefully done, strategically done by the other side. He was double teamed when the ball did come his way. But still, we need to create opportunities, create shifts and mismatches to where he can go in and do his thing and rush the passer, create some type of havoc. The Giants are not creating enough pressure, and quarterbacks are having too much time in the pocket to where they can pass the ball to people like Zach Ertz or Marquise Brown in the middle of the field with more than enough time. More than enough time. The Cardinals don't really have a receiving core like that. I thought, James Conner might be getting his touches. He might do his thing. But the fact that we just allowed Dobbs to go off and make it seem like the Cardinals had some of the best receivers out there, I just don't get it. And so that falls on the pressure of Wink coaching a little bit more pressure, putting a little bit more blitzes out there. That falls on the pressure of Adoree Jackson, who I do understand is still learning that slot position a little bit, more. It's still taking a little bit of time to adjust from playing on the outside to moving on the inside and how to shift and work his way inside. I get that. But where's the other guys that we got to help? Isaiah Simmons, why aren't they putting him in to be more of a disruptor that we know he can be? You have guys that are falling all over the place. Azeez Ojulari out. Isaiah Simmons should be the next person stepping up to come in. It only makes sense. I mean, that's why you guys went and got the guy. So I hope that we see Isaiah Simmons against the 49ers to create a lot more pressure on Brock Purdy. McFadden has to step up. He's always at the right place at the right time, but can never finish. I saw so many missed tackles. So many tackles where he couldn't wrap up and bring the person down, even though he was there. And so the awareness, I believe, is there. I sees the field, but you just got to, be a little bit quicker on some of these slants that are getting thrown your way, and you really have to be able to tackle. And so these are things that, guys, these are things that can be corrected. And really love what I'm seeing for the most part, through Bobby Okereke, especially in that second half. The first half, he was pretty non-existent. For these tight ends to be catching, this is also why we brought Bobby Okereke in, why we needed to have a middle linebacker of his caliber, because we need to shut down the middle of the field. I mean, we got crushed last season because tight ends, not only tight ends, but slot players were just destroying the middle of the field, catching anything and everything. And so we need to have guys like Adoree, Bobby Okereke, maybe have Xavier McKinney move up a little bit to where he can help out in the middle of the field. I think we can have a safety back there. I think Jason Pinnock has done well in the backfield, and I think between our corners, we have a pretty good shot at, nothing in the backfield being caught. I truly do trust on any bomb throws in Trey Hawkins, the third, or in Deontay Banks. I trust those guys on the outside. And then you have Pinnock in the back for a little bit of extra help. I mean, we got guys like McKinney who can move so quickly across the field both ways. But having him up a little bit, I believe, would help with a lot of the stuff that's happening in the middle of the field, and just, have the quarterback think twice about throwing there. And so, these are a couple of the guys that I definitely want to see a little bit of improvement coming into this next game that we're going to be having. Guys like, Boogie Basham, Ashawn Robinson. These are guys that we picked up to join the Giants this year, and I hope they understand the importance and take it seriously when they wear that blue. And that they're ready to make an impact at their positions on that defensive front, especially when it comes to run blocking, shutting it down a little bit more. Tony Pollard I felt like, a little bit too much freedom in the run game, as well as James Conner. Now we're facing Christian McCaffrey, and we just need a little bit more of a shutdown run defense, especially against Christian McCaffrey, if we're going to be having any type of success, possibly picking Brock Purdy through the air, or having him throw the ball out of bounds because he can't find a receiver in time. And so those are a few of the things that I just wanted to speak on. Great win by the Giants again on the Cardinals. Way to be resilient, way to come back, way to not, count yourself out. I was right there with you the whole game, even had a bet, and, everything worked out really, really well for me. And I'm going in rooting for the Giants on this one. I'm also putting down a pretty large bet on this game, because I truly do believe that the Giants are better than what they showed on that first matchup. I don't know what that was. I don't know what happened in the not only the first matchup, but the first half of that Cards game. Between those two games, I can't explain it. But we showed that we're able to go out there and we're able to ball out. So very, very excited about that. Very excited to see how we continue to improve on the passing game, and to show that, Danny Dimes is our franchise quarterback. So quick rundown, how are we going to win against the San Francisco 49ers? First of all, whoever was play calling needs to continue to play call. If you were play calling in the second half, don't lie about it. Let Mike Kafka do his thing. If it was Mike, you did way better in the second half. If it wasn't Mike, turn his mic off, have him mumble some words, so the broadcasters and everyone can just shut the hell up and let Brian DeBull do his thing. That's number one. Number two, we need to make sure that we give opportune moments to our guys. That means guys like Jalen Hyatt needs to see more targets and needs to be utilized more, especially with his speed skill set. Darren Waller, right behind him, also needs to be utilized and continue to get the number of targets he's receiving. As far as Paris Campbell is concerned, he's been doing okay, but I do feel like there could be a little bit more production out of him. He's dropped quite a few balls when they do come his way. So maybe let's have let's have Slayton, Big Slay, come in, and possibly Darius Slayton can come and be a little bit more impactful as a wide receiver. And then also let's have Isaiah Hodgins, who is, great, especially in the red zone, amazing player in the red zone, very aware and a big target, one of our larger receivers. So very excited to see him. And I'm sure that, these guys will all go off, including guys like Bellinger. There might be such an emphasis on Darren Waller. It leaves opportune moment for, Bellinger to go out here and just have a great game. So those are just a few of those things as far as the receivers are concerned. And then as far as the defense is concerned, I would say that we just need to see more pressures. We need to be a little bit more active at getting at the quarterback. And so hopefully these adjustments can be made, and we'll have a great Thursday night game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited. We're 1-1 now. Let's go 2-1. Let's not go 1-2. But we're always gonna ride blue. So I just want to give you that report. And again, this is your boy GD, the sports actor, where we talk a little bit about sports and we talk a little bit about acting. All right, catch you guys next time. Later.